Okay, so here's our salvia plant that I painted for you, and I'm going to show you some examples before I show you how to do the petals. These are all artificial flowers because I'm very allergic, but they're good examples, right? So the salvia that we paint are all going to be this triangular shape. All the leaves. You see the grouping will be triangular, whether they're purple like this one or whether they're red like that one. In my example here, I've painted the top. This is the nursery area where all the petals are protected by the calyxes. That's the support system for the petals, right? And then as it gets older, the petals start to droop and become more horizontal instead of vertical. And these are the oldest petals on this particular stem. And they are bigger so that you get this elongated triangle shape. I paint first the petals, then I paint the leaves, and finally I will paint the stem. I'll thread the stem, right? Okay, here goes. Going to do red ones because Marilyn requested red. And I'm going to clean my brushes and dry my brushes. And let's move the captions out of the way. So I have a small flow brush and I have a fine line brush. I have paper towels handy, right? I clean my brush, I dry my brush, and I'm going to use the red from my Oriental Art Supply companion set, and I might also use the red from the Japanese Gansai colors. You want a darker red because you want it to be nice and vibrant rather than using the orange. But if you like orange, you can use orange. If you want, you can paint them blue or yellow or purple, but I'm doing the red. Okay, and there's many varieties of salvia. The one that I showed you is what I'm going to do. So I'm loading my brush and I'm paying lots of attention to get a lot of coverage on my brush with the color. And then I'm scraping it off to get rid of the excess water. You can see all that water. That's not necessary. It's going to be looking too washed out, or maybe even come out pink in color instead of red. So you want to get rid of all that stuff and have your bristles nice and concentrated. Okay. And I'm going to use my fingernail to scrape in this pizza shape or triangle shape that I want my flower head to look like. Okay, so that gives me guidance. And I'm going to start at the top at that nursery. And I'm going to use short strokes. So that means my brush is not going to stay on the paper very long. It's going to be little dabs, and then kind of sketching that with my fingernail again where I want the stem to be. I want it to be fairly straight, but not stick straight. We don't want it to look like a ruler. We want it to look very, like it's blowing a little bit in the wind, very artistic. Okay. And if you're just doing one salvia grouping, you want it a little bit off center, a little bit asymmetrical. That's the way Asian brush painting is. It's more graceful and relaxing to the eye. Okay. So I'm going to start from outside in, or you can do it from inside out, and that it creates those little tubes for the salvia. And I'm putting some light pressure, some heavier pressure, so that we can get some different tones and different coloration. So some come directly out to the left and some come to the right, and some will be looking straight at you. So we want to get that effect too, that perspective, right? And then leave a little bit of space. That would be for the stem. And paint some more. We don't want to do them too horizontal to each other, and have them a little bit random, and have each one have its own personality. As I get further down, I'm going to make them bigger. And we have that lip we talked about, where salvia have two lips, an upper lip and a lower lip. So when we make them bigger, or we'll get closer to the ground, we can show more definition of the petals than we would up here above. Okay, so there's my salvia petals. I'm happy with that. I'm going to switch brushes just for demonstration, but for you, you would clean your brush and dry your brush, right? And then I can't find my other brush, so I'm going to clean my brush and dry my brush. Switch to doing some leaves, right? Now you can actually save some of this red color on your brush when you dip into your green paint for your leaves, because if you want to paint your leaves a little bit more realistically, this red will give it a brownish color instead of this green from the palette, which looks like Emerald City green, right? Okay. Or you can add a little bit of black. Okay. And I'm going to do my petals heart shape. So remember, we do the stem first. And I'm just going to do a few, 1, 2, 3 here that I wanted. Make a few leaves first. And I'm not doing too many. I'm just doing 3 stems because I don't want them to overlap too much, right? And the heart-shaped leaf is like upside down U. Pull your brush. Upside down U. Pull your brush. And remember, if you are more comfortable, you can turn your paper so that it's in a more comfortable position for you. Bring you, the art to you instead of you to the art. Okay. Upside down U. Come to the center. Lift. Upside down U. Come to the center. Lift. Okay. So you see I'm getting different tones, which is what you want to do too. Each leaf has its own characteristics, right? Press and lift. One might be narrower than the other. This one overlaps, so I'm going to be careful not to invade that space. Okay. And now that I've laid these out, I can look at my painting again and say, okay, I want to have maybe a leaf coming over here. And maybe I just want a side view here. And so on. Okay. And when you're done with your painting, you want to look at it to see, is everything in a good shape? Do I have a nice shape, nice texture, and so on? I look here and say, I'm thinking these are too close together a little bit, so I'm going to clean my brush and add another petal up over here to make it have a more random shape. There, I like that better. Okay, we need to know when to stop because artists tend to go too far and then we can't go backwards. So better to do less. And then remember, I'm going to thread through my petals to get my stem. And I'm pressing more as I get closer to the ground. Okay. And makes a few connections here to the stem here and there, just so we know that that's the way it goes. And I think I want to vein a few of my leaves, but not all of them, just a few. We want to leave it up to the viewer's imagination. Okay, so there's my salvia. I have some space up here. I might want to add a bee or a butterfly to complete the composition. Right now we have this triangular shape, like a pizza shape. That's what we like in flower and bird painting. So we can just be done. We can write a few words here and put my name, and that would be another way to complete the composition. Thank you very much for watching.